He walked in expecting nothing more than a quiet meal, a moment to unwind after a long day. The scent of fresh bread filled the air, the soft murmur of customers blending with the clinking of glasses. Yet, something about the room changed the moment he stepped inside. Conversation slowed. Eyes followed. The hostess's forced smile faded into hesitation. And then came the words no paying customer expects to hear, "I'm sorry, we can't serve you here." The sting of rejection was sharp, public, and humiliating. But what no one in that room knew, not the hostess, not the manager, not the glaring patrons, was that the man they turned away actually owned the entire place. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. His name was Marcus Carter, a businessman who had quietly built his success through grit and relentless determination. He came from modest beginnings, raised by parents who taught him that hard work and integrity could break any chain. Over the years, he invested carefully, moving from small real estate ventures to a portfolio of businesses that included several high-end restaurants. But Marcus wasn't flashy. He often dressed in a way that blended into the crowd, preferring to let his work speak for itself. On this evening, he visited one of his establishments unannounced, wanting to see it through the eyes of an ordinary customer. He expected to enjoy the food, observe the service, and perhaps make a few notes. What he didn't expect was the cold, cutting sting of prejudice from the very staff meant to uphold his brand. That night, Marcus was about to learn how differently he was seen when no one recognized his power. The moment he entered, Marcus sensed the tension. A group of diners glanced his way, their expressions shifting from curiosity to discomfort. He dismissed it at first, assuming he was imagining things. But when the hostess looked him over, pausing longer than necessary, his stomach tightened. "Table for one," he said. Her polite smile froze, then melted into awkwardness. She whispered something to a colleague before shaking her head. "I'm sorry, we're fully booked tonight," she murmured, eyes darting past him. Marcus turned slightly, scanning the room. Empty tables sat waiting, set with pristine silverware. Couples walked in after him, greeted warmly, and were escorted to their seats without hesitation. The truth was plain. It wasn't about reservations. It wasn't about policy. It was about him. He asked again calmly, "Are you sure?" "I can see plenty of open tables." The hostess stiffened. A manager appeared, tall, stiff, and authoritative. "Sir, we reserve the right to deny service. Please leave." His voice was cold, final, carrying the unspoken weight of judgment. Humiliation burned hot in Marcus's chest. He felt every pair of eyes in the room pressing down on him, some filled with pity, others with silent approval. His heart raced. Years of discipline told him to stay calm, but another voice inside whispered, "This is your place. You built this, and they don't even know." For a moment, Marcus considered walking out quietly. It would have been easy, slip into the night, avoid the scene. But deep inside, he knew that silence only fed injustice. Tonight, he couldn't stay silent. He decided to reveal the truth, but not yet. He wanted them to see the full weight of their mistake before the reality hit. Marcus stepped back, his calm demeanor drawing more stares. The manager crossed his arms, convinced he had silenced a problem. "Please," he repeated, gesturing toward the door. That's when Marcus reached into his jacket and pulled out his leather wallet. He slid a sleek black card onto the podium, followed by a folded document. The manager frowned, picked it up, and froze. The paper bore the official seal of the ownership group. At the top, in bold letters, Owner, Marcus Carter. A hush fell over the restaurant. Gasps rippled from table to table. The hostess's face turned pale, her hands trembling as she realized the man she had humiliated wasn't just another customer. He was the very reason her paycheck existed. Marcus's voice was low but firm, carrying the weight of years of perseverance. "You didn't just deny service to a customer. You denied service to your boss!" The room erupted in whispers, the mask of power shifting instantly. The people who had dismissed him now looked stunned, exposed. The manager stammered, words failing as he tried to apologize. The hostess's eyes filled with regret, but Marcus didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. His presence alone was enough to shift the atmosphere. He calmly gathered his documents, placed them back in his wallet, and looked around the room. "This isn't about me," he said quietly, though every word carried. "It's about every person who walks through those doors and gets judged before they're even seated." He left the restaurant in silence, leaving the staff to wrestle with the shame of their actions. The following week, he ordered mandatory diversity and inclusion training across all his establishments. Policies were rewritten, not for appearances, but to ensure dignity and respect for every guest. Marcus knew the wound would linger, but he turned it into action. And the question remained: how many more people must face rejection before the world learns to see beyond skin? Where are you watching from today? Take care.